I just graduated from college and I am shocked. I am married, and I had absolutely no idea. To get a divorce, I have no choice but to travel to a remote border garrison. Just then, a sharp, clear voice cuts through the air. Who are you looking for? I look over at the woman stepping off the vehicle. I'm looking for Serena Song. Do you know her? This Serena Song is their commander, and she is standing right in front of him. A flicker of surprise crosses Serena's eyes. She has an excellent memory, but this face, handsome as it is, rings absolutely no bell, so she is certain they have never met. What do you want with Serena Song? I have no idea. The woman in front of me is my own wife. I'm her husband. I'm here to talk to her. You're young, kid. Why are you full of lies? Serena Song has no husband. Who exactly are you? Serena's eyes are locked on me, guarded and cold. I have already spent 4 hours trekking through the desert, and I am beyond done. These people's attitudes are not helping. My patience snaps. Excuse me, how do you know for a fact that Serena Song has no husband? Just call her over and let her confront me herself. And stop looking at me like that, like I wanted to be here. I'm exhausted and thirsty. This trip has been pure suffering. The woman standing right in front of you is our commander, and she is the Serena Song you're looking for. What? The person I've been looking for has been right here the whole time. I want to disappear. The crowd is stunned. Everyone knows the commander is married. When Serena was up for the commander promotion, word came down from above that married candidates would be favored. Leadership believed a married woman would feel a stronger sense of belonging. Right around that time, my family arranged for me to marry the grandson of the man who had once saved my grandfather's life. Word was he was just a simple village farmer, but I had seen his photo. He was good looking, and his family had saved my grandfather. I thought, why not? The problem was, I was away on assignment at the time. One delay led to another. 2 years passed, and I had still never met the man I was legally married to. When things finally settled down, I reached out to ask if he would be willing to join me at the garrison. That one question blew everything open. Ivan Yu had been cheating. I could barely process it, and interfering with a military marriage is a crime. I was ready to pursue it legally, but then another piece of news arrived. He had jumped into a river with his mistress. The Song family weighed their options and decided to let it go, but the woman was pulled out alive. She is still behind bars. The whole garrison knows about it. It started when Serena's superior asked about her personal life and suggested she bring her husband over to live for a while and build up their bond. Serena had no choice but to come clean with her superior. What she did not expect was a military family member passing by who overheard everything and spread it all over the garrison. Just like that, everyone knew. And now a strikingly handsome young man has shown up, claiming to be the commander's husband. The guards on duty find the whole thing deeply strange. Serena pulls herself back to the present. I am Serena Song. I have no husband. Who are you? That is basically an interrogation. Didn't your family send you a letter? Serena thinks back. She really has not received anything lately. Commander, the mail carrier fell ill. He's been stuck at home. This place is so remote there was no one to cover for him. He took a few days off. The letter will probably arrive in a few more days. How do you know all this? A few days ago I went looking for him, hoping there might be a letter from home. I was also going to ask if I could take early leave. When I found him, he was in rough shape. There was nobody taking care of him, so I picked up some medicine. Fine. I really haven't gotten any letter, but you can still explain why you're calling yourself my husband. My name is Ethan Yu. I'm from Yu Village in Lucheng County. Your husband was supposed to be the village chief's son, but he's dead. When his family went through his belongings, they found the marriage certificate listed my name. After digging into it, they discovered that Ivan Yu had registered the marriage with you 2 years ago, but the household registration booklet he sent was mine. That year, the county was collecting everyone's booklets for a centralized registration. Everyone in the village left their booklets at the village chief's house to be taken to the city together. Ivan didn't want to marry you, but his family pushed him into it. So he stole my booklet and used it to register the marriage in my name. That year, I was studying in the capital. I had no idea any of this was happening. My family didn't check carefully either. They never noticed that my page was missing from the booklet. And just like that, through a chain of mix-ups, I ended up married to you. If none of this had ever happened, we would have been complete strangers. You're a commander, a person of real rank. You can't want an arranged marriage forced on you like this, right? I feel the same way. So I came here to get a divorce. That said, both our families are pushing us to try and build something. My family doesn't want me to go through with it. They want me to give it a chance. I agreed for now, but only to buy time. What I actually came here to do is work out a deal with you. I stay here for 1 month. You go about your life like I'm not here. After the month is up, we both call home and say we're incompatible. That we tried, and it just didn't work. Divorce is the only option. This man has nerve, she thinks. No wonder he carries himself like that. And knowing her marriage certificate does not have Ivan's name on it, that cheating lowlife, Serena feels a small wave of relief. Alright, deal. Get settled here first. I'll file the divorce petition when I get back. Thank you. Sorry to put you through this for the month. Just find me any place to stay. If there's an empty room anywhere in the garrison, I can rent it for a month. You don't need to look after me. I'll be gone before you know it. The man in front of her genuinely has a way of drawing the eye. Ethan's hands have not a single callus. For someone who supposedly grew up in a poor rural village, his background must be far more comfortable than it sounds. He was clearly raised with care. Otherwise, those hands would show some sign of hard work. Come on. I'll take you back to the garrison and get you settled. Oh, right. After I got off the bus, I lost my suitcase somewhere along the way. Could someone help look for it? Traveling this far with just a backpack does look a little sad. So he lost his suitcase on the road. Drive along the patrol route into the desert toward the bus stop and check along the way. see if there's a suitcase anywhere. If you find it, bring it back. Liang takes the military jeep and heads deep into the desert. Serena drives me back to the garrison first. This stretch of desert is the border zone. It is a long way from here to the garrison. I have been running on empty for days. The moment I sink into the passenger seat, every muscle in my body lets go. You probably got off at the wrong stop. If you were coming from that area, you would have had to cross the desert to reach the border outpost. A few minutes pass. No answer. She glances over. My head has drooped to one side. I am completely out. Serena says nothing more, but without thinking, she eases off the gas and keeps the ride as smooth as she can. Meanwhile, on the other side of the desert, Liang follows the desert route and finds my suitcase. He drives back to the garrison ahead of us and tells a fellow soldier everything he saw and heard today. Word spreads fast. Soon the whole garrison knows the commander's husband has shown up, and he is here to divorce her. This news is even more electrifying than when the commander was betrayed back then. By 6 in the evening, the temperature has plunged from 30 degrees in the afternoon to just 10. The weather out here is brutal, swinging wildly, with heavy rainstorms rolling in without warning. Most military family members who come out here can't handle it. Serena has already parked inside the garrison, but I am still asleep. She looks over at me. She thinks, Ethan said he wants to stay for a full month. Who knows if he will actually last? Commander, what took you so long? I already tidied up the room and brought over his luggage. Only when Liang gets closer does he realize I have been asleep this whole time. I blink awake, groggy. We're at the garrison. It's about 10 more minutes on foot. Don't go and catch a cold. I have to say, this wife of mine is surprisingly thoughtful. She even brought me an extra layer. Thanks. Sorry for waking you up. Don't worry about it. I was just too tired to keep my eyes open. I just heard you found my luggage. Where is it? It's in your room. I've arranged a place for you to stay. There's an empty room in the family quarters building. You can move in for now. If you don't like it, you can put in a request to switch tomorrow. Thanks so much. Sorry for all the trouble. Just hand me the key. Go on and take care of your own things. Sure thing. I'll head off then. I have been in this world for so long now that I sometimes forget the advanced technology waiting for me back in my original world. I grew up completely spoiled by my family. If I'm being honest, studying is the only hardship I've ever been willing to put up with. Everything else? No thanks. I did well enough to get into a university in the capital, and to take some of the pressure off my family, I used my head to pick up side work and earn my own money. A wealthy classmate of mine caught the right wave with his investments and made a killing. I thought my whole life was going to go just as smoothly, but life had other plans. It dug a massive hole right under my feet. Now all I want is to get this divorce done and get back to my comfortable life. I just want out of this place where I know absolutely no one. Serena hears me sigh. She assumes it's because of the harsh conditions out here. Honestly, she can't blame him. A college graduate fresh out of school finding out someone got married in his name. It was a mess up, but it is one that is legally binding. To end it, he has to go through a full divorce. And if he ever wants to get married again, he will carry the label of a divorced man. When it comes down to it, he really got the short end of this stick. If you need anything, just tell me. I'll do what I can. It's fine, just 1 month. On the walk over, the residents of the family quarters catch sight of Serena bringing a young man upstairs. Heads poke out, whispers spread, faces full of curiosity. My room is on the 3rd floor. On the way up, little kids stare with wide eyes. The hallway smells like a dozen different meals all cooking at once. Honestly, I hate living in a building like this, basically a shared dormitory. I much prefer a place with my own yard, my own bathroom, my own toilet. The room's been tidied up. The climate here is different. The temperature really drops at night. Commander Song! A middle-aged woman bustles over, eyes bright with curiosity. The truth is, everyone already knows I'm here for a divorce. Word got around fast. With Ethan moving in, there was never any chance of keeping it quiet. The awkward part is, how exactly should Serena introduce Ethan? Their situation is complicated, to put it mildly. Auntie Zhang, he just arrived and he's exhausted. I'm taking him inside to rest. Don't rush off, Serena. Introduce us first. What a fine-looking young man. What's your connection to Commander Song? Hello, Auntie Zhang. I'm Serena Song's husband, legally speaking. Once I'm inside, Serena follows. The bed is made up with thick blankets, all standard military green. Must be from my bunk in the barracks. Those are my blankets. Liang took them from my locker. They're clean. Got it, thank you. I'll wash them before I leave. There are shared water taps on every floor. The communal bathhouse is on the ground floor. The canteen should still have food. I can take you. Or I can bring something back for you. Now that she mentions it, I realize I am starving. Let's go together. I can learn my way around at the same time. I can't keep depending on you every day. Oh my, the commander's husband is so handsome, and I heard he's actually here to divorce her. With looks like that, even if it's a second marriage, women will be lining up. Is the rumor even true? Is he really here to divorce her? Of course it's true, he's top of his class. A guy like that would never be happy being forced into a marriage. It was a mix-up, sure, but honestly those two seem well matched. Commander Song's whole family is in the capital. Good, stable careers, all of them. A solid family background. The commander is a bit cold, sure, but underneath that, she's a genuinely good person. And that face of hers. If she weren't in the military, she'd be at least a top actress out there. And honestly, walking side by side, those two really do look the part. What's that saying? A perfect match. We leave the family quarters and head toward the garrison canteen. Most of the people we pass are soldiers. I watch them move back and forth in their uniforms. The awkward part is that Serena is the commander. Every soldier we pass stops to salute her, and every one of them takes a long look at me. When we reach the canteen, there's a long line of people waiting for food. The menu is cornmeal mush, steamed corn buns, potatoes, cabbage, and egg soup. Make do for tonight. Tell me what you like, and I'll make a trip to the county town when I get a chance. In the capital, her family had far more than most people, and she has eaten well all her life. After coming to the border garrison, she quickly discovered just how rough conditions were out here. But she grew up in a garrison environment from childhood, so none of this is a real shock to her. I stare at the flimsy meal tray in front of me, then look around at the room. Plenty of soldiers are eating like it is the best meal of their lives. Fair enough. After a full day of training, anyone would be starving. I'm from the South. Rice has been my staple since I was a child. Growing up, my family didn't have much. We ate mostly plain rice porridge, with some stir-fried vegetables, pickled greens, or a steamed egg. Compared to that, this food really isn't for me. Though after all that traveling today, I might have pushed past hungry into something else entirely. Eat what you can. If you can't finish it, I'll pack the rest for a late-night snack. Let me serve you first then. That way I won't make a mess of yours. This is enough for me. Serena takes her tray to the outdoor water basin to rinse it. She doesn't need any help from me. A woman walks up beside her. Serena, I heard someone came to see you. This must be your husband? It's complicated. I'll explain later. Oh my, what a sharp-looking young man. Where are you from? Hello, I'm Ethan Yu. I'm from the South. The South. No wonder they say Southern air and water raise beautiful people. It's really true. Don't be shy. You two should come over to our place sometime. You go ahead with her. I just need a quick word with Serena. Hearing that, there is really no polite way for me to say no. I resigned myself to walking ahead with Mrs. Wen. I asked the guys who came back from the outpost today about your situation. So what's your plan? Serena, I've watched you grow up since you were a little girl. When you filed your marriage paperwork a couple of years ago, I thought, finally, one less thing to worry about. And then, all this happens. I don't even know who started it today, but now the whole garrison knows. A man showed up out of the desert and said he wants to divorce you. It had to be Liang, though honestly, if not him, someone else would have talked. It was only a matter of time. Come on, say something. Why are you so quiet? Are you actually going through with the divorce? The whole Ivan cheating scandal already left a mark on your reputation. If a divorce follows right after, how does that look when you're trying to transfer back to the capital? I'm filing the divorce petition tomorrow. Come on, can't you two at least try? The guys at the outpost told me everything today. Both families want you to give it a real shot. He's a college graduate who suddenly ended up legally married without any say in it. Is it really so surprising that he wants a divorce? He said he'd stay for a month and then leave. You stubborn blockhead, you're sharp as a tack in the field. How are you so dense about this? You've met him now. What do you actually think of him? If you like him, go after it. I think he's a good one. Educated, and we can figure out a job for him. To be honest, the reason I agreed to get married in the first place was simply because the time felt right. The promotion happened to line up. My family introduced me to the grandson of my grandfather's fellow soldier. I was too lazy to look for someone myself, so I just went along with what my family arranged. But I never actually met Ivan. I'm always buried in missions or training, or out on assignment. After the Ivan situation, I stopped thinking about finding a husband altogether. And now, out of nowhere, the man actually listed on my marriage certificate shows up in person. I'm still processing it. He seems straightforward at least. He told me up front he wants a divorce. He doesn't want an arranged marriage. I'll file the petition first. There's still time while we wait for it to be approved. Meanwhile, on the other side of the garrison, I have no idea that Commander Wen is having this conversation with my wife. I've been pulled into the Wen's home. All the family members from the surrounding single-story houses have come over to gawk. Everyone dropping in on each other, it feels like a holiday. I am surrounded, basically being interrogated. I heard you came through the desert. You must have gotten off at the wrong stop. Thank goodness you're okay. What would you have done if something went wrong out there? Yeah, I did get off at the wrong stop. I was rushing, and I didn't ask clearly enough. Turns out the old man with the ox cart wasn't lying to me after all. I thought he had, but the mistake was mine. Though, how did you all already know I just arrived? In a place this small, everything gets around. Once again, I am reminded of just how powerful gossip can be. This travels faster than the internet. I heard you went to university in the capital. What did you study? Medicine. Medicine, wonderful. You'll never be without work. And you're a university graduate. Commander Song is a commander. As a military family member, the higher-ups can probably arrange a position for you. You're a real talent after all. Exactly. A doctor and a commander, what a life those two will have together. I'm here to get a divorce. For real? You really traveled all this way just to get a divorce? Young man, are you sure about this? If I weren't sure, why would I be here? Sure, this wife of mine is beautiful and she has been nothing but considerate, but that doesn't mean I have to stay. Oh, you're still so young. Maybe this is fate bringing you together. Spend some time with her. You've got nothing to lose, and I'm not just saying this. Commander Song is genuinely a catch. You won't find a woman like her for miles around. And how old is she? She made Commander that fast. All on her own sharp mind. You know what they say, destiny brings two people together no matter the distance. Maybe the two of you are just meant to be. Older folks love saying things like this. All I can do is smile awkwardly and say nothing. Commander Song is here. Never in my life have I been so relieved to see this wife of mine. These aunties have genuinely scared me. Ladies, I'm here to take him back. It's getting dark. If it gets too late, the bathhouse downstairs runs out of hot water. It really is late. I'll head back now. You all get some rest too. Alright. It's late, I won't keep you. Come eat at my place tomorrow. My cooking is really something. I couldn't impose like that. It's no trouble at all. Not even a little. She genuinely likes you. My 2 kids are both out working. They rarely come home. The house gets lonely. I love having young people around. Then you must come eat tomorrow. Since you put it that way, I'll show up tomorrow without shame. Just don't get tired of me. This section of the family quarters is all single-story houses. The residential building is over 500 meters away. When we reach the base of it, I can already hear the noise spilling out from inside. Adults scolding children, children crying, the sounds of every household bleeding through the walls. Serena walks me up to my floor. I'll head back now. If you need anything, tell me tomorrow. Hot water downstairs cuts off at 9. Go early if you want any. Got it. I spent most of today hiking through the desert, soaked through with sweat. Now the temperature has dropped again. I pull a fresh change of clothes from my suitcase, grab my wash basin, and head downstairs. A few people pass me in the hallway, but the bathhouse crowd is thinned out. Most people have already finished for the night. Even better. It has been so long since I've had to be exposed like this in front of others. Back when I was studying in the capital, as soon as I made a little money, I moved out of the dormitory and rented my own place. My own bathroom. Clean, tidy room, complete privacy. Absolute heaven. I studied medicine, and in my spare time I liked experimenting with sunscreen formulas and medicinal oils for bruises and injuries. I'm good looking and easy to get along with. Back in the capital, people would compliment my skin, and I would share what I knew about sun protection. Anyone who tried my medicinal oil after a fall or an injury would tell their friends how well it worked. Word spread fast. Soon people were coming to me directly, wanting to buy both the sunscreen and the oil. I made quite a bit of money that way. I stroll lazily to the bathhouse and find a few soldiers walking out. They greet me warmly. You'd better hurry up, young man. Hot water won't last much longer. Don't go catching a cold out here. I know. Thanks. Commander Song's new guy really is something. I pick up my pace. A thought quietly forms in my head. I should just figure out a way to heat water and wash up in my room instead. Hauling water back and forth is a hassle though, and I don't have a wash basin yet. No way to heat water either. I'll bring it up with Serena tomorrow. By the time I actually step inside the bathhouse, it is pretty late. Not a single soul left inside. I quietly celebrate and scrub myself clean as fast as humanly possible. Then I rush back to my room, lie down on the bed, and at some point drift off without even noticing. The clanking of pots and pans. Adults yelling at kids, children crying. This building has zero soundproofing. That is how I wake up the next morning. I sit up in bed, still half asleep. My watch is on the nightstand. I check it. 7:30 in the morning. That is way too early. I lie back down. I pull the blanket over my head and do my best to block out the noise from outside. I go right back to sleep. I don't drag myself out of bed until 1 in the afternoon. The moment I open the door, I find Serena standing there holding 2 packed meal boxes. Her expression is cool and composed as ever. There is a natural distance to Serena's face, a quiet keep-away that she carries without trying. People who don't know her well find her genuinely intimidating. But the moment the door swings open, Serena's face flushes pink. She quickly looks away. You haven't eaten since morning, have you? I step aside and wave her in. Just woke up. Give me a minute to brush my teeth. I head down the hall toward the water basin outside the shared bathroom. Having no bathroom in the room is a real problem. Take right now, for example. Every household is in the middle of making lunch. Out in the hallway, a person in pajamas holding a toothbrush walks through and naturally draws every eye on the floor. All eyes follow me until I stop at the basin. What do you expect? He's from the capital. Those pajamas alone look expensive. The fabric is so smooth. And look at those slippers. Much better quality than ours. Clean, too. Honestly, if you ask me, it's fine if he and Commander Song divorce. One look and you can tell he's lazy. It's noon and he's just rolling out of bed. And Commander Song had to bring him food. Exactly. Sure, he's handsome, but sleeping until midday, having food delivered right to his door, acts like a pampered rich boy. How is he worthy of Commander Song? Please, pampered rich boy. He's a genuine farm kid from the countryside. How do you know? The ones who went to Commander Wen's place to watch the scene said so. His family was poor, and for 3 generations nothing but girls. A whole household of daughters, and then finally one son. He was a top student from the very beginning. Got himself into university. The only person from the whole village to ever do it. So of course he can't do much else. What good is being a good student? Making money is the real skill. I can hear them talking. I don't care even a little. I'll be gone in a month. Chances are I'll never cross paths with any of them again. On the way back, people in the hallway greet me. I smile back at each one, say hello. Then I open my door. Serena is already seated at the small table in the living area. Meal boxes still unopened in front of her. Good-looking people really are something else. Even just sitting there, she looks like a painting. You can start without me. Don't wait on my account. I already ate. Both of these are for you. This one is cornmeal, this one is steamed buns. I didn't know what you preferred, so I packed a bit of both. Honestly, when I think about it, aside from that first awkward encounter, everything she has done since has been generous and thoughtful. She has taken good care of me. My mind drifts to Ivan. What an idiot. He was hung up on some young woman who had been sent to the countryside. If it had been mutual, fine. But that woman had no interest in suffering. She deliberately went after the village secretary's son, getting him to sneak food from home to bring her on the side, and that was already bad enough. But then Ivan was already married and she still went after him, claimed she was carrying his child, and when things got desperate, she dragged him into the river with her. I genuinely do not understand how young men in this era can be so easy to fool. If Ivan had never gotten tangled up in all that, and had just lived his life with Serena, things probably would have turned out just fine for him. This is too much for me to finish. Have some too, otherwise it'll go to waste. Will this actually be enough for you? Probably. The real problem is I just don't like wheat-based food. Does anyone out there understand this? Give me a bowl of white rice with some stir-fried vegetables and I could easily eat 2 full portions. Instead I pick at half a steamed bun. Ethan eats so delicately, nothing like the rough crowd at the garrison mess hall. I'm not usually a slow eater. It's just that when the food doesn't excite me, everything slows down. I'll wash up, don't worry. Is there anything else you're missing? I'll get it sorted. He came all this way. The least I can do is take care of him properly. I feel a little guilty, but I don't exactly rush over to grab the bowl either. I'm not the type to fight over chores. If someone offers to help, I am very happy to let them. I have no shame about it. I'm not really comfortable using the communal bathhouse. Too many people. I'd rather heat my own water and wash up in my room. I need a wash basin and a pot to heat water in. Oh, and I don't have a stove. I did not think this through. Am I really going to have to figure out how to use a stove? Back when I had my own rental place in the capital, I already had a gas canister set up. But out here, everyone uses coal briquette stoves. I cannot be bothered. Mostly because I have no idea how, and I have no desire to learn. I can arrange a stove for you. She looks mildly surprised that someone would actually avoid the communal bathhouse. Right now, though, all I can think about is my little rental room back in the capital. Tiny place, but it had everything I needed. I didn't even have to wash my own clothes there. I had made a decent amount of money in the capital. After covering food and putting aside my regular savings, I spent the rest on living well. I miss that life so much it hurts. Honestly, maybe I should just leave early. Even going home to do nothing, my parents always say I know how to live. I worked so hard to get through medical school. All I want is to rest. Did you submit the divorce petition? First thing this morning, should hear back in a while. Good. As long as that petition goes through, everything else is manageable. Sure, conditions here are nowhere near what I'm used to in the capital, and it's not as comfortable as being home, but I can handle it. I'm fine. I adapt quickly. Actually, I have something I want to bring up. Go ahead. The petition will probably get a response in about 10 days or so, right? Once it comes through, I'll leave. I know I originally said I'd stay for a full month, to give my family something to point to, so they'd believe I came here making a real effort, but honestly, I think leaving early is fine. If your family asks, just say I stayed the full month. Say we genuinely tried for a month and it just wasn't going to work. Cover for me on that. I'm worried my family might reach out to yours. If they find out, I'll never hear the end of it. He doesn't even want to stay a full month. Something shifts in her expression after hearing that. But never mind. She's a commander, a soldier, and those aunties made it clear she is straight as an arrow. This wife of mine probably wouldn't stoop to lying. I can't force her. And as the saying goes, more friends, more doors open. No point making an enemy over something this small. Once the divorce petition comes through, you can go. If my family asks, I won't lie. Incompatible is incompatible. There's no need to perform a whole month of effort. Incompatible? Where exactly? It's only him that thinks so. She doesn't see it at all. So far he seems perfectly fine. A little slow at eating, maybe a bit too particular about things, but nothing actually incompatible. And if he doesn't want to do chores, she can just handle them herself. I have no idea what is going through her head, but when she says that, I immediately feel lighter. Exactly. When I leave, if your family asks, just say we weren't compatible. No need to force something that isn't there. Parents can't make that call for their kids. The moment I finish saying this, my whole mood lifts. Almost there. Leave the border, go home, rest for a month, then head to the capital. The sunscreen and medicinal oil are always selling well. I'll develop some new products, make another big profit, then maybe think about whether to take a position at a hospital in the capital. It is pretty far from home, but if I save up my days off, going home every 2 months is doable. In the span of one conversation, I have my entire future mapped out. I have thought about everything except marriage. I carry memories from 2 lives. In my previous life, the divorce rate was higher than the marriage rate. Plenty of people just didn't bother getting married at all. And back then, I was young too. Fresh out of college, just barely past 20. Marriage never crossed my mind. After transmigrating, I threw myself into studying. It crossed my mind even less, even though there was no shortage of people interested in me at school. But relationships would only get in the way of my studies, cost me my scholarship, and get in the way of living well. Time is money. Making money comes first. That evening, Mrs. Wen comes by in person to invite me to dinner at her place. I feel genuinely embarrassed. Fortunately, I packed some chocolate in my suitcase. In this world, chocolate is a luxury treat. Expensive and hard to come by, especially imported chocolate. This batch was a gift from my wealthy friend. I had spent a lot of time working on my medicinal oil formulas, and after his grandfather used some, an old stubborn injury finally started to heal. That is how we became friends. His family had money, so he had access to all kinds of rare imported goods. Thanks to him, I got to try all sorts of rare foods from this era. When he gave me more than I could use, I would send some back home to my family. I didn't bring a lot of chocolate this time, but it still fills half a bag. What's this? It's imported chocolate, a gift from a friend. I came in such a rush I didn't have much to bring, so please take some and try it. I think it's pretty good. When would people out here ever get their hands on imported chocolate? You really shouldn't have. We invited you to dinner, and you bring something this valuable. I do have some pride, you know. You can't show up to someone's home empty-handed. I'd be embarrassed to come and eat for free. It's just a little snack. If you won't take it, I'm heading back. Alright, I'll accept it then. You make sure to eat plenty tonight. Some other family members are coming too. My husband invited a few people as well. We'll all eat together and get acquainted. The two of them never discussed it, but they are perfectly aligned. Get these two young people together. The guests are all close associates, the battalion commander, the political officer, the deputy battalion commander, the deputy commander. Everyone gets along well. It's all eating, drinking, and chatting. But the women work it smoothly, slipping in compliments about Commander's song between the conversation. There are 4 wives at the table, all with children in tow, every one of them round and rosy-cheeked. The kind of kids you just have to pinch. The table is loaded with food. Someone clearly put in real effort. A giant plate of braised chicken with potatoes and glass noodles, braised fish with black fungus, stir-fried pork with pickled vegetables, fried, cured meat, egg soup. The staples are still wheat-based though, mixed grain flatbreads, cornmeal, big steamed buns, all piled high in large bowls. Some of the dishes were brought by the guests themselves. That's just how things work in this era. When someone hosts a meal, guests bring something from home to add to the spread. I'm not oblivious. I can clearly see what everyone here is trying to do. But this whole marriage situation was forced on me from the start. I was just minding my own business in college when this landed on me. At least Serena is reasonable. If she had been difficult, I would have been miserable. So I play along, smiling through the dinner and entertaining the kids when the moment calls for it. Out in the courtyard of the Wen's home, the women are busy setting up the table. Seeing everyone occupied, I figure I shouldn't just sit here and do nothing, so I get up to lend a hand. But I'm stopped. Just sit here and keep an eye on the little one for us. We're almost done. Mrs. Wen places a chubby baby into my arms. The child is only a few months old, round little eyes staring straight up at me. I don't particularly like children, but a tiny baby who can't talk yet and hasn't even grown a tooth? That I can handle. Alright then, don't mind if I do. I sit down in the courtyard, baby in my arms. Serena, who has been dragged along by the group, walks into the courtyard and stops. I'm in a gray athletic set, wearing a pair of spotlessly clean white canvas shoes. I'm holding the baby, looking down at him, smiling the softest, warmest smile. The officers walking in behind Commander Wen and Serena stop short, eyes wide. No wonder the whole garrison went wild. Yesterday, when Commander Song brought him to the canteen, everyone said the college guy who came to divorce her was impressively good looking. Seeing him in person today, they finally get it. Out here on this barren stretch of land, everything is dust and gray. A garrison full of rough, weathered soldiers. And then this quietly refined, handsome young man walks in. How could anyone not stare? Everyone's here. Perfect timing, the food just came off the stove. I've brought out our best, home reserve. Come on, everyone sit down. Mrs. Wen busily ushers everyone in. Oh, right. Let me introduce everyone, this is Ethan Yu. Hello, Mr. Yu. I stand up with the baby still in my arms and smile awkwardly. Being called that isn't technically wrong. We're still legally married after all. But it still feels deeply uncomfortable. I smile back. Hello, everyone. The wash basin you asked for, along with the pot and the stove, I'll have someone bring them over later tonight. Great, thanks. Eat up, Ethan. Your skin looks incredible, so smooth and clear, probably because I use sunscreen regularly. Out here the air is so dry. You're all out in the sun and wind every day. No wonder. I knew your skin looked different from everyone else's. Didn't expect it to be that simple. That sunscreen you mentioned, is it expensive? Not really. I made it myself back in university. Bought the raw ingredients and mixed it up. Doesn't cost much. I also worked on a medicinal oil in my spare time. Really good for bruises and injuries. Just rub a little on and it works well. When I get back home, I'll send some over for you all. I came in such a rush I didn't bring any with me. You don't have to do that. We were just curious. Making it yourself must take a lot of time. Right, anyway, now that you've graduated, have you found work yet? I heard the garrison hospital here is short on doctors. I could have my husband put in a word for you. Mrs. Wen is already scheming to keep me here. I'm in no rush, I just graduated. If I want work, my professors can connect me. Besides, I want to take a month or 2 off first. After all those years of university, I feel completely mentally exhausted. It's not a normal kind of tired. Honestly, if it weren't for the scholarship, I would have just coasted through. I'm not naturally talented like some of my classmates. I had to put in 3 or 4 times the effort just to stay in the top group. My professors thought I was deeply passionate about medicine. They always looked at me with such pride. I could hardly tell them it was all about the money, or that it was because the scholarship covered more than half my tuition. So my professors described me as hardworking and dedicated, devoted to the profession, a model student with a bright future ahead. What a beautiful misunderstanding. That simply won't do. Job hunting takes careful planning, and you need to start soon. What if all the good positions get taken? That would be a real loss. The garrison hospital here is a great option. There's even extra pay for serving in a border region. My thinking is nothing like theirs. Why rush into a job? I'm not short on money right now. The sunscreen and medicinal oil I made have been selling steadily. Before I left home, I put together a fresh batch. I left them with my wealthy friend in the capital to sell, and over 4 years, I have saved up over 10,000 yuan. 10,000 yuan is a serious fortune in this era. Most people only earn a few dozen yuan a month. Just then, someone notices me spacing out and speaks up. Commander Song is a wonderful person. If you two were to build a life together, things would really thrive, and working at our garrison hospital would suit you well. By the way, does your family have any thoughts on your career? My family has no strong opinions. Whatever I do, they support it. My mom actually told me to rest while I can because once I start working, the breaks will disappear. That sentence genuinely shocks the room. Times are hard for everyone these days. Having a college graduate in the family is a point of pride. That much is understandable. But once you graduate, you find work. A stable job is what matters most. How could his family possibly tell him to just rest? Well, he is the only son in a family of daughters. That explains raising a young man this refined. If he were to stay out here at the border permanently, wouldn't that just be dragging him into a life of hardship? Military marriages are tough, leaving him alone in the family quarters to manage the household, with Commander Song out on assignment for 10 days, half a month at a time, sometimes gone for half a year or even longer. And if they had children, leaving him alone to raise them, dealing with all the daily grind on his own. Could he handle that? One look at him and it's clear he was not built for hardship. Forcing this match would only make things harder for him. Your family sounds wonderfully open-minded. That's great. And those hands, clearly the hands of someone who holds a pen. A small spark of excitement flickers inside me. This is my opening. If I play this right and make it clear I can't do anything practical, not only will these aunties think I'm wrong for Serena, Serena herself might become even more convinced the divorce is the right call. With that thought settled, I stop pretending to play along with the dinner crowd. I hope you won't laugh at me, but growing up my parents never let me do a single chore. If I so much as swept the floor or washed a bowl, my parents would scold my sisters for not taking good care of me. I can't cook. I can't even wash my own clothes. When I was in university, I rented a place off campus and hired a neighbor to come in and handle the housework. I genuinely can't do any of it. In my previous life there were appliances and smart home systems for everything. Who did anything by hand? Even the men mid-drink go quiet. If we hadn't heard your family goes back 3 generations of honest farmers, and that you came up from a poor rural village, we would have taken you for some pampered rich boy, hiring help to do your housework while you were in school. The women at the table exchange glances, then look at Serena differently. Poor girl. Her first husband cheated on her, betrayed her completely. At least the name on the marriage certificate turned out to be someone else. But that someone else can't do anything for himself. No wonder he wants a divorce. If he were to stay out here long term, wouldn't that just be signing up for suffering? The mood around the table shifts, and I sit there feeling thoroughly satisfied. I think to myself, go ahead and try to push us together. Happy now? Settle down. Mrs. Wen is the first to recover. She gives me an awkward smile. What are you all staring at? Eat up before the food gets cold. After dinner I chat briefly with the men. By the time we leave, it's around 8. Serena walks beside me. Neither of us says a word. A faint awkwardness floats between us. I glance over at her, uniform pressed, radiating that quiet, don't get too close energy. This wife of mine has serious presence. A commander through and through. I'm sorry. Tonight's dinner, they arranged it on their own. I hope it wasn't too uncomfortable flat, no warmth on the surface at all, but I can still feel the apology underneath it. I did not expect her to say sorry. Not at all. I get where they're coming from. They don't know the full picture between us. They mean well. Besides, it's not a big deal. I actually enjoyed the meal. Serena cannot figure out what I found enjoyable. She thinks he speaks without much feeling, no trace of that condescending pampered boy attitude, but he is almost certainly not telling the truth right now. Even at dinner, he didn't let anything real show. She had glanced at him a few times during the meal. He was enthusiastic enough about the side dishes, but he barely touched the flatbreads and steamed buns. The food I have been bringing him these past 2 days, it is probably not that he can't eat it. It just doesn't suit his taste, and he never says a word about it. He just eats quietly, never showing a hint of dissatisfaction. He is probably doing it to spare my feelings. Serena thinks about this and finds herself thinking he actually has quite a few good qualities. Serena pauses briefly. I'll come light the stove for you. After that, just remember to swap out the coal briquettes and keep the flame going. You think I don't know how to change a coal briquette? I may not do chores, but I am not without basic sense. If I couldn't manage something that simple, that would really be an insult. I smile. Of course I can. Commander Song, even a 3-year-old knows how to do that. The corner of Serena's mouth lifts ever so slightly, a faint glint of amusement in her eyes. Then I'll just light the stove. Got it. I'll grab your laundry. For now, just wash things yourself. If it gets to be too much, I'll ask a few of the aunties to help. No, please don't. I can do it myself. I've got it. It's not even that dirty. A quick rinse will do. Please don't rope anyone in. I do have some pride. And besides, these aunties aren't people I'm paying. I can't in good conscience have them washing my clothes. And laundry is simple enough. You soak it in a basin, give it a scrub, rinse out the detergent, wring it out, and hang it up. Simple. I wander back to the family quarters building, feeling a little uncomfortable. Everywhere I go, eyes follow me. All that gossip aimed at me makes my skin crawl. I check the sky. I grab my basin and head down to the bathhouse. About half an hour later, I make my way slowly back upstairs, basin in hand, along with a set of clothes I washed while I was at it. When I reach the 3rd floor, I find Serena at my door working on the stove. I stop for a second, then step inside to hang up my laundry, and come back out. I stand in the doorway and watch Serena directing someone else to help. In the 3rd floor hallway, residents keep glancing over. Commander Song, you're so considerate. He's a university man, hands made for holding a pen. You really think he can handle rough work like this? Stop talking nonsense. Ethan comes from a genuine farming family. He was busy studying, not at all like your Tai Dan. who comes last in every exam, and always covered in either mud or snot. How dare you? If you care so much about my Thai Dan, why don't you take him in for a few days? What did I say that was wrong, you old bat? Everyone knows your Thai Dan spends his days chasing chickens and running wild. Every day after school, he tears around the yard, filthy from head to toe. Last time after the exam, you chased him out of the school gate, ready to beat him senseless. The two of you howling down the street. Obviously another bad grade. And you weren't even embarrassed. The two women look ready to actually come to blows. I blink, then step in. Alright, that's enough. At your age, bickering like this all day long. Do you know what time it is? If you've got nothing better to do, go to bed. I rub my nose and glance awkwardly at Serena. Serena acts as though she heard none of it. Not a flicker of reaction on her face. Done. Remember to swap the cold briquettes. Thank you. Sorry for the trouble. At least it won't be for much longer. Otherwise a grown man depending on this much help is just embarrassing. Serena doesn't seem to find it troublesome at all. She gives a small nod and turns to leave. I close the door behind me. I take a long, slow breath. This unfamiliar place still doesn't feel right. Everything about it makes me uneasy. I stretch out with a long, lazy lean, let out a quiet sigh, then give my feet a kick. My slippers go flying in 2 different directions. I drop onto the bed and bury myself in the blanket. Day 3 in the family quarters. Early in the morning, the noise outside jolts me awake. Adults scolding children. Neighbors calling out greetings as they pass. All of it pouring straight into my head. The noise is so relentless it feels like waking up in a market. Just as I'm about to pull the blanket back over my head, there's a knock at the door. I yawn and shuffle over to answer it with half-closed eyes. Serena is standing outside in full uniform, breakfast in hand. I force my eyes open, mumble something that resembles a good morning, then turn right around and head back into the room. I leave the door wide open and collapse face first back onto the bed. Serena stands in the doorway with the meal box, stunned. She thinks, yesterday when I came by, he slept until noon. Bringing breakfast might have been unnecessary. But she's already here. She carries it inside. Passing the bedroom doorway, she glances in. The suitcase is open on the floor, clothes piled in a chaotic heap inside, alongside a collection of small bottles and jars she can't identify. What a mess. That is her first thought. Then she notices the slippers on the floor. She steps quietly into the room and picks up both slippers, setting them neatly beside the bed. She thinks, this man has absolutely no sense of caution. He went right back to sleep with the door wide open and me still standing there. Honestly, I've left breakfast on the table outside. Warm it up when you wake up or wait for me to bring lunch. Her voice is cool and clear, cutting through the empty room. A moment passes. Still no response. She presses 2 fingers to her temple. Fine. There's no point arguing with someone who is completely out. He can't hear a word. She doesn't linger. She heads for the door, and on her way out, she thoughtfully adjusts the coal briquette stove to make sure it doesn't go out. It is still early morning. Listen to this. This morning when I was dropping my kid off at school, I got talking with someone. Now you wouldn't think it looking at him coming from such a poor rural background, but when he was studying at university in the capital, his family specifically rented him a place to live off campus. And hired someone to look after him. You're kidding. No wonder he looks so soft and well kept for a man. That's exactly a pampered rich boy. Hired help? Do you know how expensive that is? Exactly. Word is he can't cook and can't do laundry either. His family was so worried he couldn't take care of himself, and his whole family is sisters. He's the only son, and he made it to university. Of course they pampered him. No wonder Commander Song has been bringing him food every day. She must already know he can't cook. If she didn't, he'd probably starve. You're too funny. Wait, that can't be right. I saw him at the water basin washing clothes when I came back from the bathhouse last night. What do you know? I was doing laundry yesterday too. I even chatted with him. He used so much detergent. The whole basin was foam, and he pulled everything out before it was even properly rinsed. Such a waste, but there's no one to do it for him out here, so he has to manage himself. Honestly, the divorce makes sense. I've never seen a farm boy quite like him. Every boy from the countryside is out working the fields by the time he's 5 or 6. Who else needs someone hired to look after them all the way through university? Look at those hands of his. You can just tell they're made for holding a pen. Nothing like our rough working hands. Though I have to say, he really is very handsome. What good does that do? If he can't do a thing around the house, if he's no help at all, I say, the divorce is for the best. Commander Song is away on assignment for 10 days, sometimes half a month. What would she come home to? Sure, he is very easy on the eyes. But if he can't do anything useful, that's about all there is to it. The gossip about me is now spreading faster than ever, and growing more exaggerated by the hour. And I, the person at the center of it all, am still fast asleep. By the time I get up, it is past 11. I lazily grab my basin and toiletries and shuffle over to the water taps to wash up, same as usual. I pass a few people on the way. Their stares feel somehow stranger than before, but I don't think too much of it. I meet their eyes and smile back at every one of them. Why are they looking at me like that? So strange. Good thing I'm not anxious around people, otherwise I wouldn't be able to take it. When I get back to my room after washing up, I stop at the sight of breakfast sitting on the table. Wait, Serena came by this morning. I smack myself on the forehead. What did I do? I left her standing at the door and went back to sleep. If it weren't for this breakfast sitting here, I would have completely forgotten. I walk over and open the box. Porridge this morning. Coarse grain porridge by the look of it, with other grains mixed in. On the side, packed pickled vegetables, and a steamed bun. Another steamed bun. 3 days now. Every single meal, wheat-based. If I eat any more of these buns, I'm going to turn into one. I stare at the breakfast in front of me. I'm hungry, not physically, but in a deep, hollow way. After sitting with it for a moment, I push it aside. Never mind. Not today. As it turns out, Serena seems to be tied up with something. She doesn't come by at noon or in the evening. I'm a little caught off guard. I think quietly to myself, her bringing food is an act of kindness. Her not bringing it is equally fine. I've already been eating her food and living here for free these past few days. That's more than enough. At noon, I steam the morning's breakfast warm over the stove. I eat a little of it, then sit in the room and stare at nothing. No phone, no television, no friends, no books, not a single form of entertainment in sight. I've been in this transmigrated world long enough to have adjusted to most things, but this level of boredom is something else. I sit in this room questioning my entire existence. I don't step outside once. Tired, I lie down. Thirsty, I drink water. Sleepy, I sleep. This goes on until well past midnight. I'm drifting in a hazy half-sleep when a man's furious shouting cuts through. A woman screaming back. The crash and clatter of things being thrown. I jolt upright, convinced I'm waking from a nightmare. But the noise keeps going. I come fully awake, open my door. The third-floor hallway is crowded with residents watching the scene, their faces caught somewhere between resignation and curiosity. One of the aunties spots me and immediately starts talking. "You got woken up too. It's the family next door. Captain Joe's place. His wife, Flora Lou, just arrived from back home to join him here. She has a fierce temper. Goes after him non-stop. No idea what set her off this time." I look around. Someone is complaining with obvious irritation. "Does anyone get to sleep around here?" Others are listening with barely concealed enjoyment. 2 or 3 people huddled together, whispering. I slide my hand into my pajama pocket, fingers closing around a pin I had absently pocketed during the day. Just then, the woman shoves 2 crying children out into the hallway, then wheels around and unleashes on the man inside. "Marcus Joe, you shameless piece of work. You'd better explain to me right now who that woman was today. Otherwise, I'm taking the kids and going home." I already explained. I don't know her. She was just asking for directions. Aren't you embarrassed by this? Something in those words hits a nerve. Flora Lou lunges at him, clawing at his face. Marcus Joe feels the sting instantly and throws up his arms to block. Suddenly she screams, "You hit me? You hit me for another woman? You were smiling at her like that today, and now you're calling me embarrassing? Marcus Joe, I'm done holding back." She charges straight at him, full on, hands and feet. Marcus Joe's temper finally snaps. The 2 of them go at it. Everyone watching is stunned. People rush in to break it up. Everyone has badly underestimated Flora Lou. Nobody can pull her off. The hallway descends into chaos. I watch them go harder and harder at each other. The children near the doorway, held by a neighbor, are crying harder by the second. The noise is unbearable. My head is about to split open, and Flora Lou is spiraling. Her eyes have gone completely red. At this rate, her blood pressure is going to spike, and she could collapse. That thought is all it takes. I straighten the pin in my pocket and move fast. I grab Flora Lou by the shoulder and pull her back hard. The momentum forces her to step backward, separating them for just a moment. In that window, while she's still off balance, I press the pin to an acupressure point on her upper body. Her whole body begins to go numb. The strength drains out of her. I quickly apply a second point. Her expression slowly loosens. She looks dazed and drowsy. I know this is a normal response, the sudden drop after extreme rage. I guide her back inside and ease her down onto the couch. Flora Lou drifts towards sleep almost immediately. I moved quickly. The whole thing happened in seconds. The people watching behind me are completely speechless. What just happened? What did Commander Song's husband just do? Meanwhile, Serena, who has just returned from an assignment, suddenly remembers she didn't bring me food today. She wonders, did he go to the canteen on his own? It's only been a few days of bringing him meals, and somehow it's already become a habit. A grown man can't exactly starve himself to death. Then someone knocks at her door. "Commander Song, there's a situation. Captain Joe and his wife are fighting over at the residential building. And Mr. Yu got involved." "What did you say?" "Ethan got into it with them somehow. We don't know what he did to Captain Joe's wife, but she won't wake up. The women from the building carried her to the hospital for examination. The 2 kids are inconsolable, rolling on the floor crying. Captain Joe has gone to the hospital to have his injuries treated. It got loud enough that Commander Wen was alerted. The political officer has gone to the hospital as well. Bad enough that Captain Joe can't manage his own household. Now an outsider has been dragged into it." At the garrison hospital, in the small medical room, the 2 children sit on stools, slowly sipping warm water a nurse has given them. Captain Joe sits nearby while a nurse tends to his injuries. The scratch marks across his face and neck are considerable. Antiseptic applied, Captain Joe quietly clenches his fist. Flora Lou is still on the bed, not yet awake. When Marcus Joe sees the leadership walk in, along with all the neighbors who have followed, he drops his head and can't find words. I'm leaning casually against the wall, hands in pockets, a relaxed half smile on my face. To anyone watching, I look completely unbothered. Only the cool steadiness in my eyes says I know exactly how this ends. "Commander Song," someone calls out to Serena. I turn to look. Serena strides in, clearly in a hurry. Her hair is not quite dry. She has obviously just stepped out of the bath. There is a loose, unhurried kind of beauty to her right now. Serena spots me the moment she enters. She walks straight toward me. What happened? I can feel she's upset. Before I can even open my mouth, she asks, "Are you hurt?" I stare at her, a little thrown. The woman's eyes carry something that looks like genuine concern. The people around us are visibly stunned. What is Commander Song doing? Flora Liu is unconscious on the bed right there. She doesn't look. Captain Zhou's face is scratched up badly. She doesn't look at that either. The only person she sees is me, standing here perfectly fine. "Commander, Flora still hasn't woken up. Mr. Yu had some kind of pin, and he pressed it against her twice. He walked her back inside, and when we followed, she was impossible to wake." A chill runs through the room. This quietly refined young man took someone down with a single pin, so fast no one even saw it coming. That is terrifying. I look at Serena, now standing just inches away. Captain Zhou and his wife were fighting and it escalated. His wife's blood pressure was spiking. Her eyes had gone completely red. I was worried about a burst blood vessel in her brain, so I used 2 acupressure points to calm her down. She'll be fine when she wakes up. My low, steady voice carries through the room. Everyone exchanges glances. Commander Wen and Mrs. Wen, who followed the commotion over, speak up. "Marcus Zhou, your household again. What is it this time?" "She started it for no reason. And I'm not saying this to be unkind. Flora came all this way to be with you. That's not easy. Cut her some slack." "Commander, you tell me if I'm wrong. Today a woman stopped me to ask for directions. We exchanged maybe 2 sentences. Flora decided that meant I was having an affair. How am I supposed to just let that go?" "Commander Wen, Flora Liu is asleep. She'll wake up shortly. Her blood pressure runs high. She needs to watch that, and try not to get so worked up." And sure enough, it is exactly as he said. Flora Liu is genuinely asleep. He pressed a pin to her twice and put her right out. And he identified that she has high blood pressure just from looking at her. That is something else. The looks of admiration from everyone in the room. I tilt my chin up slightly and say nothing. I started studying traditional medicine at 3 years old. A simple pressure point is hardly a challenge. Looks like everything is under control. Everyone head back. It's the middle of the night. It is already 2 in the morning. When I step outside the hospital, a cold wind cuts through. I flinch and rub my arms. Serena holds out a military coat. I blink, confused about where it came from. "You're not dressed warmly enough. I borrowed it from the doctor on duty just now. Remember to return it tomorrow." I take it and put it on. I glance over at her. The dim, flickering streetlight falls across her face, softening the cool edges that Serena usually carries. "Thanks. This wife of mine is more attentive than I expected." It is still a good walk from the garrison medical room back to the family quarters. After everything that happened tonight, neither of us is anywhere close to tired. "Ethan, let's talk for a bit." "Sure, what do you want to talk about?" "You studied Western medicine. How do you know traditional acupressure so well?" "I've been studying traditional medicine since I was 3. I didn't expect that from you." "Right. And actually, there's one more thing. Don't open the door half asleep next time." "Of course. I know this is a garrison. There's no one dangerous here. And you're honestly the only one who ever comes to my door. Don't worry, I won't do it again. I must have been deep asleep. I probably thought I was back home, and just opened the door out of habit." "I see. So tell me, what do you think of me?" The question catches me completely off guard. My heart gives a small jolt. The streetlight stretches her shadow long across the ground. The cool lines of her face have softened in the dark. I scratch the back of my head. "Honestly, you're a good person. Principled, thoughtful, and deeply responsible. A good commander. A good comrade." The moment it leaves my mouth, I want it back. Why did I say comrade? We are legally married right now. A mix-up, yes, but is comrade really the right word? Over these past few days, she tracked down my luggage, brought me a coat in the cold, set up my stove, brought me food every single day. Even with me single-mindedly pushing for divorce, she never once looked at me with anything but patience. Anyone else who had a marriage forced on them out of nowhere, then had the other person chase them down to divorce them, would have snapped long ago. "Serena, you really are a good person. Genuinely. It's just that this whole marriage was a mistake from the start. I don't want to hold you back. And I refuse to settle. I was spoiled growing up. I'm not built for hardship. I'm even less suited for life at the border. I want to go back to the capital and build something. Live a comfortable, steady life. I know. I've already followed up on the divorce petition. It should come through in the next day or 2. A wave of relief moves through me. But underneath it, strangely, there is a hollow feeling I can't quite name. By the time we reach the family quarters building, it is deep into the small hours. I am just about to open my door when she calls after me. "Ethan! Thank you for tonight. Without you, who knows how bad things could have gotten with Captain Zhou's family. It was nothing. I'm a doctor. I can't just stand there and watch someone get hurt." I smile, push open my door, go inside, and lie down on the bed. I can't sleep. My mind won't quiet down. The situation with Captain Zhou's wife isn't fully resolved, and I keep thinking about Ivan, the one who got married to Serena in my name, that fool who threw his life away for a girl from the countryside. When it comes down to it, he was played, and I have never forgotten the woman who manipulated him and then got pulled out of that river alive. This cannot just be left alone. Interfering with a military marriage is a crime. She didn't just destroy Ivan. She nearly destroyed Serena's reputation and career along with it. She cannot be allowed to sit comfortably in prison and call it done. The next morning, for once I am up early. "Commander Wen, here is the full account. You're saying this woman deliberately went after Ivan from the very beginning. She deceived him, took his money, and in the end drove him to his death." "Yes. She couldn't bear life in the countryside. Ivan was a trusting, straightforward person. She had him completely under her spell. Even now that Ivan is gone, she should still pay the price for interfering with a military marriage. Immediately orders a review of the old case. When they dig into it, they find the woman has not been sitting quietly in prison at all. She has been accusing others, working connections trying to reduce her sentence. The evidence is solid. Combined with a marriage certificate and victim statement Serena provides, the woman's sentence is extended. She will spend the rest of her life paying for what she did. Justice, finally. When the news reaches the garrison, everyone breathes easier on Serena's behalf. Even the neighbors who had been gossiping look at me differently now. That afternoon, Serena sets the divorce petition on the table in front of me. She places a pen in my hand. It's been approved. Sign it. I stare at the words on the page. My fingers go still. Isn't this exactly what I wanted? But now that the moment is actually here, I cannot make myself right. Memory after memory from these past days floods in. In the desert, the moment she first let her guard down around me. In the car, the way she quietly smoothed out the ride so I could sleep. In the canteen, eating the wheat food I pushed her way without a word. Late at night, lighting my stove, picking up my slippers off the floor. She has never once pushed me into anything. She respects what I think. She pays attention to what I need. Even the small things, like knowing I don't like wheat food, that I can't stand the communal bathhouse. She carries all of it quietly in her mind. Serena, I don't want the divorce anymore. What do you say? What did you just say? I don't want the divorce. I was being selfish before, only thinking about what was comfortable for me. I didn't see how extraordinary the person right beside me was. You are extraordinary. One day wasn't a trap the universe set for me. Maybe it was a gift, but you said you can't handle hardship, that you want to go back to the capital. Conditions here are rough. I'm away on assignment constantly. Gone for months at a time. I can learn. I can learn to cook. I can learn to do laundry. Learn to change coal briquettes. I can take a post at the garrison hospital as a doctor. Use what I know to help more people. I can wait for you when you go on assignment. Make you soup when you come home. Treat your old injuries. I can handle the hardship, as long as you're the one beside me. At some point, a crowd has gathered around us. That's my boy. I knew you'd come to your senses. I always said these two were brought together by fate. I don't sign the divorce petition. Instead, I take Serena's hand. In the middle of everyone's applause, I say, come on, let's file a new marriage report. Let's get married again. This time it's me, Ethan Yu, choosing of my own free will to marry you, Serena Song. Serena looks at me, and for the first time, she truly smiles. In the days that follow, I start learning, one small step at a time. I learn to cook with Mrs. Wen's guidance. At first nothing goes right. Things burn, or come out completely tasteless. I grimace at my own failures. This is inedible. No, it isn't. No matter how it turns out, I'll finish every bite. That pushes me to try harder. I don't just practice cooking. I do my own laundry, change the coal, keep the room tidy. Serena notices. You're getting more capable every day. Our little home is really coming together. I hold her hand. It's all for you. I want to give you somewhere steady to come home to. Later I join the garrison hospital, treating soldiers using a mix of traditional and Western methods, and putting my medicinal oil to use. One time a soldier injures himself in training. After applying the oil, the tension in his face eases almost immediately. He grins and calls out, Dr. Yu, miracle worker. This oil of yours is unreal. As long as it helps, that's all that matters. Seriously though, doesn't matter if it's a fresh training injury or an old one flaring up, a little of that oil and the pain backs off. You're everyone's miracle. Doctor. I also bring my family out to the border for a visit. The moment my parents and sisters see Serena, they take her hands and don't want to let go. This boy of ours has found an absolute treasure. Serena is so wonderful. You had better treat her right. Of course. Seeing you settled and building something real here, we can finally stop worrying. Ivan's family also makes the trip to apologize in person. They hold my hands and say, Son, we made a terrible mistake back then. Stealing that household registration booklet and setting all this in motion. We have carried the guilt ever since. Please don't hold it against us. I don't blame you. He's gone. The grievances go with him. I promise I will take good care of Serena and protect this family. Half a year later, Serena and I hold a simple wedding at the garrison. No grand ceremony, just our fellow soldiers and their families, sharing food and drinks, celebrating like it is the new year. Serena stands beside me in her uniform, eyes full of a warmth I had never seen from her before. I hold her hand, and surrounded by everyone's good wishes, I say, I used to think a marriage certificate was a complication. Now I know it is the greatest gift of my life. Serena, for the rest of my days I will stand guard over you. You stand guard over our country. We will never be apart. Yes. In time, I become a core member of the garrison hospital, treating countless border soldiers. My medicinal oil and sunscreen are refined and improved, no longer just for garrison use. They help many of the soldiers' families with skin problems too. Serena earns her next promotion and transfers back to the capital garrison. I go with her. I continue practicing medicine at the capital garrison hospital. We have a child, a wonderful little one, and on weekends we take the child back to visit my parents. The whole family loud and joyful together. Sometimes I find myself thinking back to the day I first arrived at the border. I walked 4 hours through the desert, my whole mind set on divorce. But fate is a funny thing. A mistakenly signed marriage certificate led me to the love of my life. It turns out the best life isn't one without obstacles. It is having someone worth protecting, a purpose worth pouring yourself into. a home that is warm and full and alive. Serena leans against my shoulder. She gazes out at the sunset through the window. Ethan, thank you for staying. I'm the one who should be saying that. You are the one who showed me what a life worth living actually feels like. Because of you, I have everything. You must be exhausted. Drink some warm water first. I made the soup you like. How did you know I was craving soup today? Whenever you're tired, you want something light. I pay attention. Now try it. I didn't burn it this time. Much better than last time. Our Dr. Yu just keeps getting better. Not just in medicine, in the kitchen too. Of course. Look at who her husband is. This little one is getting more attached to you every day. Were you like this as a child? Sensitive and always wanting attention? Clung to you. The kid takes after me. Only wants mom. Don't say nonsense in front of the child. Watching her like this, soft and at ease, I can't help but think back to those first days at the garrison. Back then, divorce was all I could think about. Now I would stay by her side without a moment's hesitation. Even I find it hard to believe. What are you thinking about? I was thinking about when I first arrived, complaining about everything, desperate to leave. I was completely foolish. You had me lighting your stove every day back then, and I took it for granted. I honestly thought there was no way you would stay. Refusing the communal bathhouse, turning away wheat food, sleeping until noon. I genuinely worried how you were going to survive. And yet you still took such good care of me. I didn't like wheat food, so you quietly brought me rice. I hate noise, so every time you came by, you moved as softly as possible. When I dealt with Captain Joe's family situation in the middle of the night, you rushed over and asked if I was hurt before anything else. You are my husband. Of course I was going to protect you. That night you asked me what I thought of you. I said you were a good comrade. I regretted it the second it came out. Serena, I don't want to be just your comrade. I want to be the person who stays beside you for the rest of your life. When I watched you sit there and not sign that divorce petition, my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. No matter how hard life at the border gets, as long as you're there, I want to stay. I can learn to cook, to do laundry, to change the coal. I can serve as the garrison doctor, standing guard over you and the soldiers you protect. After that, I learned to cook with Mrs. Wen. Every time I bring a dish out, I'm anxious. Serena, try it. I'll make it again if it's not right. And every time, she smiles and says, it's delicious. The best thing I've ever eaten. Gradually, I find my footing. From burning everything to actually knowing what I'm doing. All of it just so there is always a hot meal waiting when she walks through the door. A year after joining the garrison, I improved the medicinal oil formula. I hand it out freely with a smile and always set aside a bottle for Serena. You train hard, old injuries everywhere. Apply this every day. With you around, every injury heals faster. I also make her a custom sunscreen. The desert winds are fierce out there. The sun is relentless. Don't let yourself burn. This is the best sunscreen in the world. There is only one person who gets it. When Serena is out on assignment, I always wait at the door for her. The moment she comes back, I ask, are you tired? Are you hungry? I kept the soup warm. Having you here waiting, no matter how far I've gone or how exhausted I am, it's always worth it. Dr. Yu, I'm heading out. Stay safe. I'll be here when you get home tonight. Who would have thought our pampered boy would turn into this? For you and our child, I can learn anything. I used to be the youngest, spoiled by my sisters. Now I am a husband, a father. I have a home to hold up. On weekends when we bring the child to visit my family, my mom says, Serena, this boy of ours was hopelessly pampered. It's all thanks to you. Mom, he's very thoughtful, and he takes good care of me. The little tyrant of the household, turned into a man who lives to dote on his wife. Every lock has its key. Meeting Serena through this marriage is the greatest fortune of my life. I will cherish her always. I always knew you two were fated. I told Serena to go after it back then and she wouldn't hear of it. Look at them now. Look how happy they are. See? I wasn't wrong. Ethan is a good man. He is. I'm very lucky. Ethan, have you ever regretted staying? Not once. I used to want comfort above everything. But now I know that no amount of money could buy what I have. The best life is this. You, our child, this home. You stand guard over our country. I stand guard over you. She is the most resilient tree on that barren plain, the most formidable commander in the garrison, and she is the person that I, Ethan Yu, will spend every ounce of my strength protecting. One marriage certificate pulled two people across 1,000 miles. One chance meeting at the border sealed a lifetime together. Year after year, from here forward, through every ordinary beautiful moment of this life, I will be beside Serena Song. From the first strands of black hair to the last strands of white. From youth to old age, together without end. Back in the capital, we finally have a home that is truly ours. No desert wind or sand. No noise bleeding through thin walls. A bright open balcony. A warm kitchen. Every single thing in this home chosen by the two of us together. Life here is settled and quietly sweet. In the mornings I always wake before the alarm. I get up carefully so as not to wake Serena, still fast asleep. The child is growing fast. Every morning she joins in, little legs pattering to the kitchen doorway, gripping the frame and calling out, Daddy! That tiny, soft voice could melt anyone. I cook and turn to play with her at the same time. Morning light pours through the window and falls across the two of us, warm beyond words. By the time Serena wakes up, a hot breakfast is always waiting on the table. She sits down in her uniform, face soft, no longer the cool, untouchable commander from the border. Just my wife. She eats quietly. Now and then she reaches over and puts a piece of food in my bowl. Breakfast for 3, simple but full of warmth. When she finishes and heads out in full uniform, I always walk her to the door. I straighten her collar and say, Stay safe. She turns back and smiles. And just like that, the whole day feels brighter. At the Capital Garrison Hospital, through my approach of combining traditional and Western medicine, I've built a quiet reputation as a skilled military doctor. Word spreads among the soldiers that I'm good at treating old training injuries, and many seek me out specifically. I see every one of them with care and patience. I hand out the improved medicinal oil freely. The results are consistently good. When things are quieter at work, I sit in my office organizing case notes or working out new treatment approaches. The days feel full and purposeful. I am nothing like the college graduate who once only wanted to lie back and get rich quickly. In the afternoons, I pick the child up from school right on time. The little one spots me with that small backpack bouncing and immediately sprints over. She tumbles into my arms, chattering nonstop about everything that happened at preschool. On the way home, we stop for fresh groceries. I think about whether Serena will make it home for dinner. I think about what dishes she loves. Some of what I grow now started as seeds Serena brought back from the desert. They thrive now under the capital's sun. On the evenings, Serena comes home at a normal hour. The apartment comes alive. She sits with the child in the living room playing with toys. I cook in the kitchen. The clatter of pots and pans, the child's laughter, Serena's occasional voice giving gentle instructions, all of it together becomes the most beautiful sound I know. My cooking has long since improved. Nothing burns anymore. Nothing comes out flat and flavorless. Every dish made for her. She always says with a smile that my cooking is the best food in the world. On the night she works late or is away on assignment, I keep things going quietly with the child. Bath time. Story time. Once the little one is asleep, I leave the living room light on and keep a pot of soup warm on the stove. No matter how late it gets, the moment she opens that door, there is something hot waiting for her. She sinks onto the couch, exhausted. I sit beside her. I slowly work out the tension in her shoulders and neck. I listen to her talk about small things from the day. No interrupting, no complaints, just quietly being there. Weekends are when we breathe easiest. I take Serena and the child to the park. We watch the child run across the grass. We sit side by side on a bench in the sun, talking about nothing in particular. No assignments to think about, nothing to worry about, just each other, and the calm of the moment in front of us. Every so often we go back to my hometown. My parents and sisters see the three of us, content and whole, and they cannot stop smiling. They take Serena's hands and hold on. Serena's old injuries rarely flare up anymore, thanks to the care I put into treating them. I make her a dedicated sunscreen, and she carries it with her everywhere. Whether she's training or heading out, she never switches to anything else. This is the tenderness that belongs only to me. No one else can match it. I watch the laugh lines deepen gently at the corners of her eyes. My heart is full of gratitude. Grateful I didn't let go back then. Grateful I chose to stay. All the regrets and tangled knots from before have quietly dissolved with time. The comfort I once chased after is finally here in my hands. And it is more beautiful than I ever imagined. Not because of wealth, not because of luxury, but because she is beside me. We have our child. We have a home that is whole and warm. I pull her closer. I hold her tighter. I look up at the stars spread across the sky. And deep inside I am absolutely certain. You stand guard over our country. I stand guard over you. Year after year, never apart. This is our life after coming back to the capital. Quiet and steady. No grand drama. No dazzling spectacle. And yet it surpasses everything the world has to offer.